Well, good morning. I was reading my comments a moment ago, and I guess about half an hour ago now. I got a comment from our friend UK Jason, and he said, and he was referring to the fact that I made reference to that today was going to be a sort of a special day, and he said something to the effect of, well, you're going to have a different pizza. Well, that's true. I am going to have a different pizza. In fact, it's not even going to be pizza. I'm not even sure yet what it's going to be. However, that's not what I was referring to. What I was referring to was that today is exactly 3 years ago to the day that we started the model ship series. Yeah, 3 years ago today. And we've had an upload every day since then. I haven't missed a day. And some of you are going to be saying something to the effect of, well, that's impossible because there's almost 1,100 days in 3 years, and this is only episode 1061. What happened? Well, if you remember, about I think it was after 100 episodes, I took a break, and for almost just a little over a month, we made a clock. And so that took up sort of a break, and then I went back to the model ship again. But there's been an upload every day for 3 years. I don't know how long this is going to keep going. Anyway, yeah, 3 years ago right now, I was sitting here on my shop stool. Well, it's one of my shop stools. Now, I knew I was going to say this, so I had my other shop stool here, and I just wanted to explain. I made this up. I welded this up for myself because about 4 or 5 years ago now, I guess it was when I made this, I was having trouble standing, especially at the lathe, when you want to stand for a long time at the lathe, you know, fiddling around with making pens or whatever. And I was big into making pens up until about 4 years ago. Yeah, I thought it would be, if I could sort of sit down, you know, it might be easier. So I welded this up, and it's just, it's good, but it isn't good. It's just plain not comfortable. I have a friend here in Winnipeg who asked about this thing because he's getting older too. In fact, he's a little older than I am, and he likes to turn pens, and he's having the same problem. And he's wondering if he could make a stool or something, or a chair, so he could sit at his lathe. And I was suggesting, well, I told him that this just wasn't comfortable. Not the way I thought it was going to be. Anyway, enough about stools. Yeah, so it kind of boggles my mind to think that we've been at this model ship series for 3 years. You know, I've said this before, but when I was down here in my workshop, and I would spend hours and hours and hours down here, I had thought, I will be here forever. Nothing will change. Well, I started on the Bismarck almost 3 years ago. If you remember, it didn't come right away. I think it took about three or 4 weeks before we actually got it from Cellar Dweller. And a lot has happened. Cellar Dweller is gone now. The guy that was running it died. You know, life goes on, or in his case, it stopped. And that was sad. I thought Cellar Dweller will always be there. I will always be down here, you know, making little things out of wood on my table saw or the lathe or whatever. Things change. I can't promise that the model ship is going to go on, the model ship series is going to go on forever. I have no plans of stopping. I want to keep going as long as I can. But that's life. Life changes. Life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. You've heard me say that lots of times. Anyway, let's get upstairs and continue on with episode 1061 of the model ship. Okay, there I go, taking my glasses off again. Now, I take my glasses off because sometimes if the light is wrong, there's a reflection off my glasses and you can't see my eyes. And, that's kind of important to see the person's eyes or the animal's eyes or whatever. In fact, this new camera's got what's known as eye detection. And it will focus right on the eye and follow it. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it works. I don't need it for the model table. Anyway, yeah. So, 3 years. Holy moly. I hope it's okay to say holy moly on YouTube, because I just did. Anyway, as you can see, I did get back to the model table yesterday. I got the first coat of our gold paint on the propellers. They do kind of look believable. Like polished brass. That's sort of the way polished brass looks. I'm satisfied with it. It's the same paint that's on the propellers that are on the Bismarck right now, and it looks all right. There's going to be a lot of things that aren't quite right with this, with our model hood. Oh my goodness! Look at our sunrise. I'm going to have to dub that in. That's pretty. Yeah, that's really pretty. Okay, yeah, let's carry on. As I've said before, it doesn't take much to throw me off. Let's roll back. And you can see where I got to this point. It's a long roll back, and once again, maybe what I'll do is I'll put in the bottom of the screen right now where you can scrub ahead to get to the where we carry on, and I say, well, it's morning. Okay, last time I checked, episode 1060 was still processing. Now, what I did was I took a little piece of paper towel here, and I was going to stick it in a hole and use it as a wedge, so that when we put the shaft in, it's going to bind a little better. And then I thought, well, why not take a piece of photo etch? So I got some extra railing here, and I think we'll just, we only need 4 little slivers of it, so that's like one little section with 4 rails. So we'll take you'll see what I'm going to do here. No, they don't have to be precise. We just have to get 4 little pieces. Okay. Now, are these going to go pinging off on me? Maybe if I put my finger on them like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I thought it was going to stick to my finger, but it didn't. Okay. Now the idea is we drop it in here. Oops. Where'd it go? I think I got the wrong glasses on, that's the problem. Okay. Now, the idea is, when we take the shaft, now I don't want to be touching these, remember? We should make a tight fit. Did I knock it out? Where's my other glasses? Okay. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Alright, we'll try this again. I'm going to keep at this even if it takes me all night. I need 3 hands. And all of them right hand. Okay, here we go. Well, I thought that would go better than that. Let's try it without one. No, it's a little bit too loose, and it'll fall off when I'm manipulating it. And yet, on the other hand, I was sure that was going to work. Okay, where's the stop button? A few moments ago, I saw an Amazon truck pull up in front of the house, and I thought, aha, my little package is here. You may recall that I was complaining vehemently about the fact that Nikon had provided a connecting cable that I felt was just way too stiff, for the connections. And, well, anyway, I went on Amazon and I ordered something that I think is going to be better. Now, I thought I may as well meet him at the door.
I'm Ron. Hi. You got one for me? Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Yep.
Now, this is the first time that I have ever received a package from Amazon packaged like this. Or maybe I should say, not packaged. Usually they put it in an envelope or something. Alright, let's not accidentally cut the cable here. Well, it's not quite as flexible as the little data cable that I have, but it's a lot more flexible than the one we got. Okay, we don't need those. All right, I can see where this is going to be a lot better. Well, let's install it. Okay, now, if there's something I hate videoing or trying to photograph, it's something that is black. Yeah, it's really hard to see detail if all the detail is black. But anyway, we'll see what happens here. And take our new one. There we go. And may as well make use of this thing here. We'll try and get it to go down and around and back up like this. Maybe I could have put this cord in afterwards. Yeah, I think I can. No, I can't. Ah, nice catch, Ron. There we go. Okay, now I don't think I want to bend that too sharp, and yet on the other hand, I don't want it sticking way out and catching stuff. Alright. Now, I like to have my cables as short as possible, but this might work. Let's give it a try here. We'll turn it on and see if our screen lights up over there. Yep, we're in business. We're in business. One thing that this camera does do is it autofocuses very quickly. Almost instant. Very fast. Okay. Yeah, I'm impressed anyway. Now, I was just reading my comments here just moments ago, and one of the comments said, why not use this tapered Q-tip to go in the hole here? So I commented back and I said, no, it was too small, but that got me to thinking, how about a regular Q-tip? Would that work? Or is it too big? Or maybe just cut part of it off in the right place. Okay, it's too big. But this is too small. At least I think it is. Maybe. I wonder if I was to cut the point off of this. Let's try that. Let's cut the point off of this small one. I don't think that cutting a Q-tip is going to hurt my Tamiya nippers. All right, here we go. It's just a little bit, it's a little bit too small, Jim, but maybe if we were to take this larger one and cut it back, let's try it about there. No, let's cut it back just a little bit more here. Ooh, I removed the whole thing. Well, maybe the size of this is just right. All right, you know what? If I was to pare this down, Yeah, a little bit more. You know, I don't know if you remember, but years ago these Q-tip shafts were made of, I believe, paper rolled up. I could be wrong about that, but it seems to me I do recall that. There we go. Thanks for the thought, Jim. Yeah, thanks for the thought. All right, let's, where's my paint here? Let's get this shook up and see if we can get a little bit of this paint on there, at least the first coat. Yeah. Now even 60 frames per second will not stop that action. That is still going to look blurry, I'm sorry. However, less blurry than it would have at 30. Oh my goodness. What's happened here now? Okay, we got it. Now, one of the bad features of this paint is that the pigment will settle quite quickly. So what we're going to want to do is maybe put the lid on and stir in between each propeller. And it's probably going to take 2 coats here. I'm not going to stick the macro lens on. I'm just going to do this here. If I remember right, this looks a lot better once it's dry. Yeah, I think we're going to need 2 coats on that. And if we don't get it back in there, you know, this part that I'm painting right now, but where the Q-tip's going in, that's you know, going to be up against the flange of the you know, on the ship. Yeah, we're going to need 2 coats. It could be that I've made a mistake in not putting some kind of metal primer on here. Well, we'll know after the second coat. You know, I didn't do a very good job of fixing that propeller. My goodness, Ron, that's not very good. Well, I guess I'll have to have that blade up against the hull somewhere. I replied to Peter, and Peter's comment was, he was mentioning how you want to make sure you don't get your hands in front of the lens, and I commented back that I need a third eye to keep an eye on the monitor. Maybe I should take a look at the monitor right now. What are you seeing? Maybe I'll have it back here. That's a little better. I suppose I could have put these on the rotator too. It's just that I want to keep twisting them at different angles. Try and get rid of those bubbles. They may not. This cone-shaped thing here is going to very clearly be visible. That's going to be one of the most visible things. So how are we doing there? Pretty good. Now the second coat will probably solve the problems. Okay, now all right. I'm just going to do that 3 more times, and don't know. It looks like there's something on there. Is that dust or bubbles? Oh, I'm probably making it worse. Yeah, let's just let it dry and we'll see what the second coat does. Now, I was going to shake this up, wasn't I? Notice I remembered to leave the cap this way down. You know what? I think I should be in a little closer. I was just looking at the monitor. This thing looks pretty small in the view there. It's kind of dark too. Oh, maybe when I do the second coat, I'll try and do a little better job. Maybe I'll put the macro lens on. Well, I'm sure you don't want to be watching me paint these things, though. On the other hand, maybe you find it relaxing. I'll just finish this one and push the stop button, and you know where your fast forward button is on your machine, so I don't remember going and doing the edge of the first one like I did here. Alright. No. Let's put it over here. Okay. Yeah, I'll do the other two the same way, only maybe better, I hope. Okay, now we got our little paintbrush all cleaned up and ready for the second coat. But I was noticing that where I was putting the cap down, it dripped off the inside. But at least it didn't drip back into the threads had I turned the cap, on its back and had it sort of like this. And that was the whole idea of putting them like this. I just want to remember not to put this cap on my green cloth. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it quits for today. I know I could probably keep going, and I'm kind of a little bit gung-ho to keep going, but you know what? I should really wash the dishes. I do have a dishwasher, but I haven't used it in so long that I think the pump is seized up. Anyway, we'll see you in the morning. Well, Well, it is morning, and I am realizing that I forgot to dub in the sunrise. Now, if I can remember, I'll dub it in at the end of today's episode. But right now my little laptop is really struggling to process, what I've shot so far, and if I was to stop everything right now and try and dub in the sunrise, like I normally do, it's possible I might have a problem getting today's episode out reasonably on time. And today being sort of a special day, I kind of want to try and do that. I wanted to have everything go as right as possible. I shook this in the paint shaker a moment ago, but maybe I better just give it one more little shake. We're going to do the second coat now. I don't know how much of this I'm going to do on camera, but let's just zoom in here. Okay. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of this holder, and I'm going to try and hold it in the right place, and which is check my monitor. Okay, that should be the center of the screen. If I can just hold it right there, just like that should work. All right, let's give that a whirl here. I'm on a bit of a learning curve with this new lens and the way I'm thinking of doing it. Now, this is the second coat, so this paint is difficult to paint. It's got it's sort of what you might call kind of lumpy, and holding this in the right place is difficult as well. Okay, let's try and do the back side of it. Okay, and this part right here is going to be up against that flange that drops out of the bottom of the ship. So, okay, I think I've frustrated myself enough here. Yeah, this is going to have to do. Now, two things. First of all, when I'm spinning this around, because we're in 60 frames per second, it should be a little bit smoother. Now, I know I'm beating this to death, right? Okay, second thing is, today is pizza day, And I think something's happened to my oven. It's either the element or the thermostat. I think it's probably most likely the element. I've had to change it at least once before. Now this stove is very old. It's over 40 years old. So it doesn't owe me anything, you might say. I don't know if I'm going to, fix it or bother to replace it or not. Anyway, let's zoom in here and see what we got. I'm going to try and not spin it around too fast. I don't know if I'm going to show you the pizza or not. It's in the microwave, and it's going to be sort of what you might call a deep dish pizza. And I've got black olives, mushrooms, lots of chicken, white onion, and that's about it. Yeah, and then there's it's sort of got a crust on the bottom and a crust on the top, sort of like the way you make an apple pie, kind of. Well, I guess that's why they call it pizza pie, right? I'm noticing on this one, the second coat didn't go on too good. But, it's not too bad. It's okay. Okay, we're all kind of family here, so we may as well have a bit of a good laugh. I'm sure that the crust is done. It's just that a microwave does not brown anything very good. It will burn it though. This is actually the first time I'm taking this out of here. It's not like this is a reenactment or anything. Okay, what do we got? There's a few black olives still in there and a little piece of mushroom. But what we got going here is, like I say, there's the black olives, there's the white onion, there's lots of chicken. I don't know if I can get this out. Oh, that's hot. That steam came out of there. That was stupid. Yeah, Ron, what's wrong with you? Okay. I think if I was to add some ketchup, it'd probably taste pretty good. Problem is, as well as my oven being on the fritz, my ketchup bottle is on the fritz. So, you know what, folks? I think I'm going to call it quits for today. I've got like I mentioned earlier, I was having a problem with my laptop. And if today's episode is late, and it might be, well, that's, yeah, I still haven't heard back from Jared at iTech Computers yet, or iTech Systems here in Winnipeg. And I was hoping they'd build me another computer. They've made 2, maybe 3 for myself. They've made a couple for my son. So, I was kind of hoping they'd make a high-end one for me now for editing video. But as of yet, I still haven't heard back. So anyway, what for the sunrise? I'll try and put today's sunrise at the end of the episode. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.